Race you to the land. I'm gonna get to the beach before you. Haha, catch me if you can. Oh wait, oh no, energy. Oh. Okay, I'm out of fuel. Crud. Hi, this is IVATOPIA, taking a look at the current early access build of WARSHIFT, saying if it's worth buying for the price of $19.99 from Steam, using the current version of V1.32. Well, let's take a look at this RTS third person / first person with a bit of Dota thrown in for a good measures. Action story driven game. Main menu, shall we? Plus remember, this game is nowhere near finished. The game is being made by one developer, what is amazing if you think about it. Especially when you see what he has done anyway. Back to the main menu. As you can see on the left, it gives us information on the patches that the game has had so far, as well as in the middle it tells us that the game is in early access and basically means it is incomplete. Just as I said earlier, underneath this we have got a quick play button that drops you straight into a game. I personally tend to stay away from these type of buttons in games. I like to customize my game more, etc. Now on the right at the top is the current version number of the game as well as my profile name. From the bottom we have the quit button to leave for Windows, followed by the credits button, what thanks to Kickstarter backers who helped fund the game. I didn't know myself about this game in Kickstarter, it had another name back then, and now uses WARSHIFT. Since it came to Steam, the profile button opens up your Steam profile and the setting button takes us to some basic but still quite chunky graphic options. Now back to the main menu that has tutorials. This button actually opens up your Steam page again and starts to play the tutorial videos the dev has made for the game, what most players should really watch since the game is quite easy to pick up but at the same time does a few things different that most players would not be used to and could cause them a lot of frustration. For the sake of about 19 videos, most 2 to 3 minutes long, videos that cover very basic stuff to some more advanced stuff, it's not worth getting upset at the game if you haven't looked at them first. I included the dev's link to the videos in the description below. Next button is the multiplayer button, what at this stage is just for LAN, but does state if you have Hamakacha, I can never say that word correctly, H-A-M-I, I'm even spelling it wrong now, H-A-M-C-H-I. You can easily manage your private network between multiple computers. There is also a tutorial video in the dev's link on how to set up his multiplayer too, by the way. But the multiplayer is meant to be up to 6 players, 2 commanders and 4 as avatars. You're now thinking, what's he talking about? Commanders and avatars? Just bear with me a sec, then I'll get to that part. Next is the skirmish button. This brings up a lot of options to customize your game, like to pick which side you'll be playing on, the humans, also known as Colonial Republic, or the aliens, also known as Androids, Enclave. I can't really say that name properly. So A-T-R-O-I-D-S, Androids. Okay, anyway, moving on. As you can see, you can pick different avatars who you can control by RTS from a top-down view with some zoom, or with the tab key. Jump straight into the third person mode, and while you hold the right button down you get more of a first person type game. We have got for the humans, as I would call them, the Corsair, it's horrible with these names, sorry about this, that on LAN is basically a mech that you can upgrade, by the way, at your arc, basically like your base after you've leveled up by killing enough things and have enough money to spend on the upgrades. Then you can take to the skies for as long as your energy that replenishes over time as it becomes a fighter jet, as well as accessing underwater mode for the name of the thing again, Corsair? If you pick the first map of the 4 of the current maps, you only have the Gladiator as an avatar, but you get to do some space battles above a planet. It is really cool. The next avatar is the Raider, an APC Jeep, what can transform into a watercraft, plus it carries a few troops to drop off to help you in a fight. After this one, we can control Archangel, a combat cyborg that has the ability to jump really high by a kind of jetpack. She can use a crossbow as well as them there on the screen. As you can see, some type of energy swords. You can see as well as other abilities you can upgrade to. Now for the aliens. So far we only have 2 avatars, but they are both awesome looking. You would never think this game was made by one guy only. It is almost AAA quality. Anyway, back to the Arca. I am rubbish at these names, like I keep saying, as he is known. Anyway, it's spelled A-R-K-A-R. What looks like a kind of cybernetic, very mean bug that can stealth and dish out some really bad punishment, as well as travel underwater too. Then we have, last but no means least, the Lord Volcano. Yeah, names again, sorry. Who is a giant, volcanic giant with a flamethrowers and gains mass per level, just to name a few things about this scary guy. We can choose one of 4 maps at the top, and then underneath that we can pick the game mode. Classic, what is the default game, kill the other side. Resource rush, what is the first to a certain amount of resources, first wins. Then survival, a time limited game, survive until the time runs out to win. Now, this can be customized even more with the starting state from airborne, what is your arc ship, starts out to sea, floating, and same for the other side. So to me, the true way to play the skirmish mode, if you want a longer game and equal sides, etc. Next we have grounded arc. This starts you with your arc landed on the beach. You can take off and fly again, but it is for the start. The strong point is next, and this gives you more units and buildings, and each mode from this one upwards I believe just gives you more and more. Same goes for your opponent too, including more base points on the map already taken, so you don't have to get them yourself, for example. This is for the fortress and the basin mode too. Next we have logistics and supply, what allows you to do everything the game allows, the default game again. Or we can set it to nothing to build, so we're not allowed to build anything more for if you want to go it alone with the avatar and not worry about a whole army being made to fight you, since you could have set it to allow a lot of troops and buildings already after all. Or we can set it to only units, so we can only build units, and the buildings we have is all we get. The same but opposite goes for only buildings. Next one, called victory conditions, would have changed automatically depending what mode you set the game mode on earlier. Now we can change if the enemies are hidden, basically if you can see their location or not. Finally, we have the time and weather, what can be set to sunny day or a clear evening or even a very rainy night. And finally, a foggy morning. And if you're happy with your game settings, hit ready to begin the game. If you're not and prefer to play the campaign, hit escape button below instead. By the way, if you hit the escape key here, you can take a look at the game controls. Now we have entered the campaign mode. It is made up of 10 current missions that have the numbers at the top in the correct order, yet the game allows us to play in any order we like. Because each mission is meant to show off the game's unique features, like mission 1 is a space orbital mission and has a video briefing to it, like all the missions do. Mission 2, on the other hand, only lets you use your avatar and have the RTS part stopped for in-fiction reasons. Your main forces are too far away to help you, etc. This is where the story comes into play. Okay, let's talk about the RTS part, since we've already spoke about the upgrading and the avatar part, shall we? We start off with an arc, a flying base, that can fight for itself with some limited artillery. But if you lose this, you lose the game, since when your avatar dies he respawns back here. We got a few units we can build here, like Cyber Guardians or rocket launchers, or even drone interceptors and bombers. Plus the orbital bomber that is only for the space map, as well as more buildings like drilling platform to help gather your resources that are needed for the game. This has to be put on top of the correct resource node, plus a lot more buildings. All these buildings have to be built, should I say, at the arc. Then we move over to the energy hubs so we can build the building next to it, like a turret or a little base that keeps on making units every 60 seconds and sends them on their path towards the enemy's base, like a Dota. If we have got enough resources to supply it, of course. We can also make units and control them with normal RTS mechanics, as shown here at the arc. Few maps are very varied and well made. The game does have some bugs and teething problems, but nothing that will destroy your fun with the game, as long as you understand how to play it. Like if you're above the mountains, for example, and there is nowhere to land but you have run out of energy, then you're going to slide down until you can take full control again. This is to stop you landing out of range of other units, and I assume, and just as easily and cheaply killing them, etc. Do I think the game in its current build is worth buying? Well, I would have to say yes, since it is of great quality so far and has only been made by one guy, what is amazing in of itself. The gameplay needs tweaking in parts. I felt the Jeep, for example, is a bit on the slow side when turning, but in general it feels nice and is so cool to be able to play an RTS, then take control of your main general, so to speak, in a third-person action type game. But if you want a finished game, or don't like things trying something different, in other words, you like your action games to stick to what they're good at, and you like your RTS games to also stick to what they're good at, and not mix, then you should move on, or at least wait until more comes out to decide if you want to jump on board. This is just my opinion on the game, nothing more, but I hope it helps someone out there, at least, and I will leave you with some more gameplay footage. I hope you enjoy.
Low energy.
Speaking of bugs, here's one I suffered from early in the game. Look, about to land, and I fall through the ground and die. Anyway, back to some more footage. This is another little bit I thought was quite interesting. Seeing having my arc, and that massive ship there fighting, that's awesome. Very dangerous, my arc gets blown up, I lose, as you actually saw earlier in my video. I just thought it was an awesome sight. And here's some different footage from another game I was messing around with. You see I'm focusing a bit more on the RTS part here. Anyway, once again, hope you enjoy. Whoa, what's that? That looks awesome. Whoa, a bit hot up here. Whoa, okay, I can't seem to fly past. Ah, wrong place to landing. Okay. Shush. I can land where I want. I'll land where... Wrong place for landing. Okay, fine. No one saw me.